John, something that a lot of our clients face is something called titling. And titling is where a soldier winds up in the subject block of a CID investigation. What are the effects of being titled?
Unfortunately, titling is one of the many prongs that come as an adverse action when a soldier is under investigation or when they're a subject of an investigation. And titling is whereby probable cause has been determined by a judge advocate that you have committed offense. And once that probable cause has been determined, your information is then uploaded into a national criminal database that is searchable, so that any time a criminal investigation or a criminal background check is conducted, your name pops up.
Well, they've actually recently reduced that from probable cause to a standard called credible evidence, not even probable cause. So if there's credible evidence that you engaged in this misconduct, the CID will title you. And what the effect of that is now you're in this title block, and this is sent to an indexing agency where it's a criminal records. So if a future employer does a background check on you, it's going to show up that you were titled for, let's say, sexual assault. You could be found that there was no probable cause, but there was credible evidence, and your name still appears in the title block and listed as being arrested for sexual assault. And that has tremendous long-term implications, because once you're titled, that stays on your record for 40 years in the military, and it's reported to the FBI. And so anytime a civilian employer does this investigation, this background check, it's going to pop up that you've been titled by CID. And these can be used against you on your security clearance. It can be used against you on future employment. It can be used against you for professional membership in professional organizations like a bar association or medical licensing. The implications are significant. So what should a soldier do if they've been titled for an offense but nothing ever happened? They never were charged with anything. There was never a GOMAR. There was never adverse action, but they still remain in that title block.
Unfortunately, Will, this is one of the many different prongs that come as a result of a law enforcement investigation, particularly in the military. And it's something that needs to be addressed right from the forefront. You cannot let this go because, as you said, there are lifelong and long-term consequences. What a soldier should do when they've been titled and with nothing else happening to them, just the titling itself. You can come to the law office of Will M. Hellickson, and what we will do for you is we will draft a packet that compiles all the various different facts, all the different nuances of the investigation in such a way that it's explainable to a potential employer or explainable to anybody who does a background check, the whole broad range of that instance in one shot, so that you are not stuck there on the spot trying to explain why you were titled for sexual assault 10 years ago.
Right, and the reason that we would draft that packet is, the bottom line is, it's damn near impossible to reverse a titling decision.
Right.
Because what they look at, they don't look at whether there was probable cause, they don't look at whether anything happened to you. They make this simple determination. What did that CID officer know at the time they made the titling decision? And was there credible evidence, which is lower than probable cause at that time? Which means it's almost never going to be an instance when you can reverse a titling decision through normal means. You have to explain it. But the same is not true for law enforcement investigations. You can challenge a finding of a law enforcement investigation, and that is by going to the Criminal Records Center and requesting them to review it. And that's when they look at it from a probable cause perspective. You have a much greater chance with the Board of Correction for Military Records to reverse a finding of probable cause in a law enforcement record than you do a finding of credible evidence on a titling decision.
That's correct, and that's why we always advise from the very start is to get a copy of that investigation through FOIA steps, and we assist you with that because that's the beginning of anything that we can possibly do with regard to this titling.
Right, so what we would do at our law office is we would examine the investigation from top to bottom, show what the the inadequacies of that investigation were, and then make a determination whether or not it is worth your time and money to write an appeal to the Board of Correction and Military Records. If it's not worth your time and money, we would then create that packet of information that we talked about, that explanation of titling, and create that so that the individual has something that they can give to future employers, to the Bar Association, to medical licensing, to anybody who did a background check and saw that you had been arrested for sexual assault. We are the Law Office of William Hellickson. We are your warrior advocates. You defend the nation, we defend you.